Whoa! Alright. Is the music a little loud? It could be. Let's turn that down. RaftermanNZ here, and I've got a new project for you. A couple of people have already done this map, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's just such a gorgeous location. So I want to, I don't know, give it a shot, make it look one-to-one, make it look nice, do a thing. So yeah, we're here. Yeah, and you can't go wrong with the SimCity soundtrack. It's always a chill time. And yeah. See, I just want to respond to some of these messages here. Alright, so I don't know, I haven't done a live stream in a while. I figured it's a Sunday. I've got nothing to do. I've got a new project that I'm pretty far on, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. So I've got it in a state that I'm ready to kind of show it, show everybody what's up, do a thing. So the area we're working on today is Schwyz. I don't know how to say it really. Where is it? I've been literally staring at it for the last couple of weeks while I work on this project, so I should know where it is. Ah, here we go. So I'm doing this spot. There's not a lot of buildable land, but damn does it look nice, especially when I get the trees and everything in it. I'm excited for that. So let me just do a little alteration on my play set here so that I don't get in trouble for things. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna reload that, and then we're gonna start the game. I don't know. How's the music sounding, folks? Not too loud. I've got a couple of windows open for the stream, so I'm kind of bounced around. All right. So yeah, while this loads, the game's going to do some wild things. We're going to kind of explore where we're headed for this map and what the plan is. So I haven't shown off a whole lot of the progress. I'm planning on doing some kind of video that shows the what do you call it? Just the process of the map, to show kind of how I created the height map and different types of things like that, where I got the data. Hopefully that all checks out. Hopefully I get the time to edit it. I haven't had a whole lot of time to edit Monument County because life is busy. So I'm already on a different project. I'll get back to Monument County a different day. But anyways, I do plan on showing everybody the process of importing height maps, finding the data, converting it, doing things like that, because I'm a huge fan of one-to-one maps. So oh yeah, that's all right, Teddy. Yeah, just bounce between streams, man. I don't mind. I'm just kind of messing around. But so that people don't have to wait around too much, once the game loads, I'll kind of show you around, get you an intro, and then I'm just going to get right into the next part of my project, which is going to be to create the infrastructure. So I'm at the part where I'm going to start recreating the roads, experimenting with that. Last night I was kind of messing around with the freeways that cut through the area, and it looks pretty damn good. But there are some really hard parts that I'm going to have to really experiment with. So yeah. So yeah, Teddy, eventually, if I had the time, I'd give like a step-by-step, like highly produced video on, based on, was it Shanks? On his tutorial on the process of importing those height maps. Because you can also, what I plan on doing is, if I make a custom map, just utilizing real life mountains and the cliff sides, and then just importing them into a black and white height map. So that should be a treat. Wow, this is taking a long time to load. I might have messed up I changed my playlist, so hopefully it didn't reset the cache or anything, and then we might be here a while. So, oh, there we go. Got a few things going up here right now. All right. Yep, that should be fine. It doesn't look like... I don't know if it's different. I don't know if the background is different, but... Oh, okay. So what I'm doing here is every time I load the game, I have to restart my settings resolution. I have no clue why, but it is what it is. What's up, Scunny? Sunny Scunny. I'm bouncing. I've got this on both Twitch and YouTube. It seems to be working. So if there are any glitches or if I miss any chats, I apologize in advance. So while that loads, what I'm gonna do here is hopefully not dox myself. I'll get to that after I kind of intro the map. I'll show you some of the things I had to do to get the height map in there. So multi-stream is just tricky because I know things just break when you don't want it to. All right, so we're gonna load the version of the map. I'm on like my 4th stage. I try to save at different stages in case I break something. The other night I tried to get some more rivers going, but I realized the rivers were actually just like storm drains or storm canals from the big peaks on the other side of the mountain. And so I'm like, I don't really need that. Oh, okay. So this is my test road. So this is actually not what I wanted to do, but so I'm going to redo this road because there are some smoothness issues I wanted to work out. Because you see, it's a little bit bumpy and I want everything to be perfect. Yeah, Harbor Master, I haven't really spent a whole lot of time optimizing my mods. I have a lot of them. I mean, a lot. Is the stream working out for everybody? Is the frame rate okay? I can't really tell. Yeah, I think it's good. It's hard to see what the output is because if you've got tons of windows open. Here, let's turn off the preview in OBS here. Maybe that'll save me some GPU. Okay, so we got Schwyz. What is this river called anyways? This is the main river through the map. It was actually extremely easy to do. Surprised me because it just kind of, after I gave it a little bit of width, it just kind of did its thing. The other ones, these little storm canals, I'm not even going to attempt. I tried it the other day and that water just gains too much velocity from the mountain and it just floods the entire map. But yeah, this is the base height map, and for those of you who have been itching to get just itching to do any kind of like alpine ski area, this is the map for you because it is gonna be wonderful for that. Like, I am excited for what people can do with that. One thing I do plan on doing is creating snow, like melted snow on the cliff. So I don't want to, what is it? Surfaces. Who has the white surfaces? I don't know, actually. I'm not going to dig around in those assets for now. But I plan on adding white surfaces. Yeah, it's going to be a, what's the word? It's going to be a dependency, though I think if you don't have it, I think the map just doesn't load it. So I don't think it's going to be a necessary dependency, but to get the snow I want to put on the cliffs, kind of give it a melted, like high elevation snow kind of look to it. I'm excited for that detail because 1, it's optional, and 2, when the snow melts from the game and it leaves just this shadowy area snow, it's going to look really freaking cool. So I am excited about that. Very excited about that, in fact. What else? What's everybody been saying on YouTube? Okay, cool. Thanks for the engagement, by the way, Teddy, because that helps spread the stream out a little bit, because I haven't streamed in a while, so I'm sure the algorithm is mad at me. So some other things, I was talking on some forums about this a little bit ago, about how the sea level is just frustrating. So I had some ideas that I'm not going to implement here, but I hope we can do them in the future. So I kind of had to elevate this whole like unplayable area so that you didn't get like all these flooded plains, because to me, I want it to be authentic, you know? So I had to go back and elevate this whole area so it seemed realistic. There's a lake right here. I can't do this lake because the sea level is too low, and it's outside of the playable area, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna try to take some lessons I learned from Bayport and implement them here. I want to minimize the amount of tree anarchy that I use, because yeah, it just seemed like it was maybe excessive, and I don't feel like dealing with those complaints. So I hope with the updates to some of the mods, I can get like these dense forests on these cliff sides, because if you here, wow, okay, we're gonna change that so I don't get, all right, so where is it? Okay. There we go. All right, so the tricky part is going to be to somehow get these mountains all set up the way I want them, you know? Especially with the trees, because these trees just go everywhere. They're dense, but luckily the vanilla trees are exactly what I might need for this map. But the cliffside is rendered as, well, cliff. So I'm gonna have to put some surfaces down to get these grassy hills, not hills, but you know, mountainside. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna put the farms down. I know it might be a better map without putting surfaces down for the farms, but I can't help myself. So that's gonna be the next part of this project. I'm gonna get the roads in, and then I'm gonna get the farms in. So I'm going to do one more thing, and then I'm going to show, before I start working on things, I'm going to show everybody some of the work I've done on the back end on QGIS. Kind of do what I did last time when I had one of these streams going, you know? Teddy, yeah, I'm actually really tempted to go crazy with the infrastructure, specifically with the switchbacks, because, I mean, why not? I suppose. Because there's just so much of it. I'm not going to do everything, but I'm going to do spots of interest that I know the player might have an issue getting a certain road up, especially if people want to make ski resorts, you know. That's kind of my big dream here, is somebody doing an like a European vibe city with ski resorts and all that type of stuff. So this is my current overlay. This is currently the map bounds. So it's actually a lot simpler than you'd think to set this all up. And once you kind of, it's just a process that for some reason I can't get my mind to remember, so I need references. But when I release the video of kind of walking through, it'll become pretty apparent how easy it is. The tricky part is getting the right data. Luckily, Switzerland has they've completely scanned their entire country, and I think they refresh it every year. They have aerial photographers go out and scan things, and they just do the entire country, which is very nice for us because now we have these height maps we can pull from, and it's free. I need to check out the licensing requirements for that data. I'm pretty sure it's public. Their version is public domain, but since this is non-commercial, it doesn't matter. So yeah, the main thing that people are probably going to get stuck up on if they ever want to do these types of maps is the computing power. It'll take a long time to compile those height maps because it is this particular map I think is 2 meter resolution LiDAR data, which there's 2 ways to do it. I just imported the entire country. But most people, like in Shanks' tutorial, they should really be doing, what is it? Importing based on their, what is it? Like their bounding boxes, their coordinates, because otherwise you're going to try to load an entire, like this is tens of gigabytes of data. So like this is the current height map based on that. Let's see if I can get the entire Swiss height map. Yeah, it'll take a while to load. I've already enabled it, but my computer just doesn't like that. See if we can get the street map going. There you go. Other things that I'll go over in the video is how to get water sources in correctly. I always just end up giving up because Switzerland, I couldn't find any good like water overlays to kind of use in a Photoshop overlay or mask to try to lower these areas. Some people have used Bathomology, but I don't know how to merge it with the height map. Some other people know those more advanced techniques. Me, I can't be bothered. So the entire country of Switzerland, I have the entire height map for it, all the LiDAR data. But it is, how big is that file? Is that 1,000 megabytes? Sorry, gigabytes? No, it's not a terabyte. Okay. I can't tell what size that file is. Hang on. Can I open? No, I don't want to do that. But in any case, so these files end up being freaking huge. They're super high resolution, but that's why I like using them so much, is because I can just get gorgeous looking natural topography without a whole lot of effort. Like, in fact, it's downright lazy, but it's cool. And then if you ever want to create a custom map, you could take parts of these and merge them into a black and white file or PNG, and then just kind of custom. I believe a few people do it that way, which is something I want to steer towards in the future. But for now, until they figure out how to let us edit the unplayable area without any issues, that's what I'm doing. So let's go back to the game. Oh, close out QGIS, because it's going to take up a lot of CPU power. Okay. All right, what's everybody saying in the chat? Oh, Teddy, if you're still here, yeah, I would say the good thing about Switzerland, and which is why I'm choosing it, is well, okay, there's two parts. There's 2 ways I can answer that question. When you say borders, if you mean international borders, I don't think I think it stops at the border. Any LiDAR data, coincidental LiDAR data for border areas, it cuts off. So that's kind of a bummer. But the plus side is their projection zone doesn't overlap with any other projection zone. They have their own like global projection zone, so you don't get any what is it? Yeah, you don't have to do any special conversion to change their projection zone. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I believe if I understand it correctly, it's almost like time zones, except for how this data is projected onto a globe, so to speak. So when I use this height map, right, it's gonna reference it's gonna reference some kind of projection protocol, so that parts of the data isn't like overlapping weird or hitting weird. I've had a few maps that are just like right on the border of those projection zones, and things just don't line up. So good thing about Switzerland is it's all their own, so you don't have to change that. And I'm not an expert on that, so I could be misunderstanding how it works, but yeah. So yeah, Teddy, who was it? Somebody, I don't know what their public username is, so I won't mention it, but they were talking about using bathomology, or the bathymetric data, and I don't know how to merge it into these height maps. I've seen some people break it down, but that's a lot of work, and I don't know if it's actually as useful as you'd think, when it's just easier just to paint it in, because I like to also add some texture. So like this has a little bit of texture to it, as if there's sediment going places. So I'm going to actually load an earlier version of the map, because last night I was testing the roads to see if it was possible to do what I wanted to do. I'm just going between the two streams here to make sure I didn't miss any chats. But I don't know, that the bathymet, yeah, I don't know if I'm using that. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly, but that data is helpful though when you just kind of want to turnkey things, because like, look at this nonsense. I wanted to be sure I could at least get the water to render correctly, so I just kind of cut in whatever this is. Luckily, it's all going to be underwater. I could probably clean it up in the future. But yeah, I had to smooth all of this together. And as you see, my cursor is in the stream. Yeah, the cursor doesn't match up with the brush. So with no undo button, it is risky business working with the unplayable area. Because if you twitch, or if your mouse goes off of the screen, it'll continue the input, and then when you bring your mouse back in, you'll just cut a giant swath through your map, and now you're screwed, because now you got to repair that part of the height map. Yeah, I don't know. I really wish I could turn this into the playable area too. Imagine the things you could do with this, like, oh. But alas, this is where we are. The overall playable area is mainly going to be this valley near Schwyz. I'll pull up the overlay. Yeah, I'm going to clean up the underwater height maps in the future, part of the height map. But for now, this is where it's at. I mean, how can anybody not pass up the opportunity to do Switzerland? I wanted to do some parts in Canada, especially the natural areas that don't have any development, but I couldn't find, like, there's a project out there that maps the entire Arctic Circle and has all this LiDAR data, but it has gaps that I couldn't, and while I could repair that manually, I don't have all the time in the world. And once I get this map going, I want to return to Monument County for a bit, edit that, take a break there, and maybe play some Manor Lords or something. But so this is the current overlay I'm going to use to reference some of the infrastructure. This is also why I like using these height maps, because I already have this, what do you call it? This embankment for the highways. So that's really nice. I mean, Yeah, the overlay matching the terrain would be kind of nice, but you might get distortions, which would probably kind of mess with you, depending on how accurate you want to be. So just depends. But it would be really nice. I was thinking about doing some kind of what is it? Oh yeah, some kind of like PSA on like Reddit or something about building on slanted terrain, because you can take lessons from these height maps. You can see all the foundations for all these buildings and how they flatten the land. Dunedin had the same thing until I smoothed it out, but if you really wanted your cities to be realistic, take some advice from this. Like, look at all these flat plots of land and how they flatten it out slightly for the buildings, like in real life. So this is actual data. So you can kind of just see, okay, this is how these steep terrain areas are dealt with. Pretty sure that's a road. So yeah, you can just see like the foundations of these buildings. So that's a really unique lesson I hope people kind of start to pick up on. But yeah, Teddy, I'm looking at your earlier comments. If you use mixed data, different projections, it will slightly offset most of the time. Yeah, although I don't know if Bayport was this way. No, I was experimenting with a river valley on the Mississippi because that overlaps two projection zones. I think it's 17 and 16N. There is a way to do it flawlessly. You might get some distortion on the geometry of the height map, but it all blends together, so you don't have to blend like different elevations that are turning into giant straight cliffs, you know? So, okay, so I don't think I've given a full overview of this map yet. I hope people don't mind, but there's going to be one river. I'm not doing these other little runoff canals. I'm going to put trees around them, but they're not always full of water. So it's not worth the hassle, because yeah, I'm just not going to try that. You know, I still yet to look at the LA map, Teddy. I really have to pop it up and be like, just see how they did that, because Lake Anoki did pretty good with, I was able to get the water working pretty good. It's just dealing with that velocity, because what'll happen if you look at my mouse, the water would just come straight down here, and even if I cut a big canal here that was maybe 20 units wide, just never panned out. So at least this river, it's steep enough for the water to go through it just fine and actually flow correctly, but it's not too steep to where it's going to flood the entire map. So one last thing I'll show before I start working on things. I had a test map that has one of the cool features of this map I think is going to kind of take the Valve approach and always have something new to show, you know? And which is why I kind of waited for things to evolve. Do I have... Okay. So one of my test maps has all these trees that I placed. I'm going to get rid of these pine trees because in the summer they're too green, you know? So I'm going to get rid of those. It's going to be mostly spruce, I think. But the thing I really want to do, and this is just a test, so it's sloppy as can be, you know? But I plan on, oh wow, that's actually nice. I just realized that's the benefit of this. But anyways, I plan on putting these white surfaces on the tops of the cliffs. So when the snow melts, you still get these shadowy areas that still give you like this snowy vibe, you know? And just on the highest peaks, you know? So like over here too, like that's going to be a nice touch, I think. That's going to be really fun. But yeah, Teddy, QGIS has those tools, and it's hard to find information on how to work it correctly because there's people doing all sorts of weird stuff that don't pertain to what your situation is. But back to this snow topic. Yeah, I am so excited to get to that point. It's going to be one of the last things I do, but it's going to be wonderful. You can see this version of the map has the height map before I carved out the water. It was a process, that's for sure. because this green area right here is just all water. I thought about it too. If somebody really wanted to, if they wanted more buildable area, they could just erase this mountain right here and see what's up. Yeah, when you get that solid data in there, it is amazing. And I'm using the theme mixer mod for these rocks. So this time it's not going to be like Black Dragon Canyon. No one has to download any texture. They can just download one mod and there they go. I'll put information on what I used in the future. So yeah, anyways, one thing I actually just realized. Oh, jeez. Photo mode, I see why they also made it work well in the map editor, because we had complaints to, I don't know if complaints, but feedback to them about these little arrows for the trees and objects being, it's hard to really like get a big picture when those are so much in your face. But I guess if you just use the camera mode, you can survey how things are looking without them. So that's nice. That's going to be really nice. I can't wait to get all these trees in. And none of these are placed with anarchy, so that's going to be nice. There's a few things I'm going to use anarchy, but for big forests, like, look at that. Let's get rid of some of these clouds. There you go. I still don't like the way the shadows render, but we there. But yeah, it'll be nice to try to blend this in. It sucks that I can't put surfaces over here, but oh, I did have one other idea too. Let me just look at whoa, there's a big chat. Oh my gosh. What's up, Sully? Sorry, I was kind of wrapped up in a monologue there, but oh yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of wondering about some like the bigger map mods, but I'm not really gonna say, I don't know much about some of those projects, but yeah, I'll just kind of leave it there. But it would be really nice to build out there, and once we get a mod that actually works on some of that, you bet I'm gonna lap on to trying to make some bigger maps. Like, that's gonna be cool. Batitude, yeah, it would be pretty cool to do Norway. I know a few people have been interested in that too. But Norway would be much of this, I would assume, but more sea access. One thing I think people are going to be kind of confused about is I'm going to put shipping lanes in here, even though the water's going to end at this you know, you're going to see where the water ends, so it's going to be a creative choice. Ooh, Tion, or Tygon. That's actually a really good point. Put him on the north side. Granted, alright. Those patches, though, I could probably still be pretty liberal about them because these cliffs are very high elevation. So some of them still have snow in the summer in certain areas. So I don't know. Depends on the day, you know? The Swiss Navy barges. I don't know. What else? There's something else I was going to mention about this height map. Oh, I had this idea and I was working with somebody else on this. And again, I don't know what their public names are. Water. Eek, okay, we're going to pretend that that didn't happen. Okay. So I was doing a thing and I was trying to provide this feedback, like if we have to, right? Since we can't get our unplayable area water above sea level, what if we found a way to just move our surfaces, or I don't know, if the devs were looking at this idea, just put surfaces in the unplayable area, and then we could at least get our water sources. Because like, look at this. I mean, granted, it doesn't like that steep terrain, but with the move it, I can move this. These surfaces work. I just can't put the center point way over here. Wait, can I? Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Oh, there you go. It disappears. Okay. So, what if this was an idea? I did this. All right. So, I don't know. Let's get ourselves a big old tether, right? Now, I can't paint in the unplayable area. I don't know, it's just a makeshift lake. And this is my little tether. Something I can hide in the map, right? So yeah, what you could do is create these little surfaces. And let's see what happens. Oh, okay, it doesn't quite work. But like, in theory, you could do this, right? Can I elevate this somehow? I mean, it's not perfect, but you could try, right? Oh, okay. What if I try this? Okay. Anyways, that was an idea we all came up with, and it was kind of not a bad one. So like, if they wanted to, I don't know, give us some kind of non-sea level water source for that doesn't mess with the simulation in the unplayable area, maybe some kind of, you know, water surface, that would be nice, just for like things that you can't really render. But yeah, looks like broken glass. Look at these polygons. Actually, that's an insight into how surfaces work. Interesting. Anyways, I digress. What are you all saying in the chat? Yeah, you can actually see all the roads and everything. That's how high resolution this data is. This data is 2 meters, Tygon, and actually, who else was saying that? Yeah, so it's not as good as some of the 1 meter stuff I've used in the past, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you the difference. But yeah, Teddy, I don't know, lots of different things you could do with Norway. What is it? I think there are some very solid to the Faroe Islands. They have some solid height map data too, and I was kind of tempted on that, but it's kind of boring. There's not the height map data is basically the map at that point. Once you throw some water in, that's all you need. So those would be some easy maps to do, low hanging fruit. But I guess the unplayable area too, I have noticed, and now that they've given us free camera, like it used to be restricted to the playable area, you can kind of now explore how this all works. It's just low resolution. So I'm guessing that's how they get around the performance issues too. So I wonder any type of mod that involves expanding this playable area. I wonder what kind of issues even just rendering the terrain would involve, because this is some high resolution, like there's got to be a crap load of geometry in this, right? So I don't know how computers really handle that. So all right, so yeah, Let's, what do I have up right now? I have the in-game part of the stream going, so go back to desktop here. So my next stage is the infrastructure. Now I kind of debated whether or not I wanted to go full out. I think I'm only going to do Highway 4 here, or freeway, I don't know what they call it in Switzerland. And I definitely want the challenge, oh wow, that's bright, of doing this. Now, I talked to Sully a little bit about it. I was trying to find somebody who might know more about what to do here and what we can do. Like, I don't know, it's going to be hard. That's for sure. I think what I'm going to do is also try to create some kind of way of making these tunnels look nice. I want them to have that like rounded look to them. There's a few things I could probably do. It'll restrict the player if they ever want to edit these highways though, so I got to be careful. I think I'm going to put this part of the highway on the waterfront too. So I'll create this interchange roundabout with a road that just kind of ends and trails right here and stops there. I'll create this center roundabout, and then I'm going to send a road all the way over here. I think that'll be good for that side. I'm not going to put any roads over here, maybe some farms though. And then create this whole highway as a connection. It'll go through here, and it's actually going to be easier than I thought. It's just the tunnels are going to kill me. Like, look at this. I want to make it look smooth. I don't want it to look janky. So yeah, I'm even going to split it up like it does here. But if I just make the entire road elevated, I can get the Swiss vibe to it too with these railings. Like, that's easy to do. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So the I mean, that would make sense that they call it the Autobahn. Teddy, when you say it looks doable, you're talking about the roads. Yeah, it'll only take like a couple hours to get the roads in there, but to refine them so that they look nice, because I'll probably put this interchange in. I think this is in my map. Put the trees around it, it's going to look real nice. This is probably where I'll utilize the most anarchy, because and they kind of make it easy, because the sides of the that's bright. The sides of the roads are kind of covered in this thick like tree foliage, so I could just like bury a bunch of oak trees and it'll look pretty damn nice. It's a hell of a silo. And then the rivers, I mean, that's easy. That's like these levees on either side. I think I have them in there. Maybe I'll put some of the forest textures or oil textures down there for this. It's like kind of a rocky... I don't know if I want to use rock props. I might use a few at a few spots for the river. Oh, you know what? This did show up on the height map. This waterworks here. I was wondering what that was. That's kind of cool. The railways. Teddy, I think for the railways, I think I might put the actual, like, maybe I might not put these trailing railways for these factories in, but I think I'm going to at least put the rail yards in there, because at least City Skylines has always kind of had a European bias to it, which is okay. Actually, does Switzerland have the electric catenaries? I don't think they do. Oh, no, they do. Okay. But for these railways, yeah, I'm gonna end up giving it all the lanes that real life has, because I don't know, I'm a fan of that too. If people want to reduce them, that's fine. I know I always get complaints about that, is people want it to be more simplified, but the answer is pretty easy. Just delete the railway, you know? This is still in my map too. You know, for a challenge, I kind of want to put this in here too. Just as like a representation. Look at all these like catenaries. As an American, my American mind cannot comprehend all of these wires. Yeah, I'll put the main line, maybe, well actually the way this trails out too, where does this go? I don't think I've looked at this yet. Is that in the map? Imagine I wonder what kind of trains go under this, if there's any freight trains. Imagine just like a freight train full of oil just going under your house. Okay, so I could have about 3 connections. I don't think I'm going to make any... Do I want to make a highway that goes out this way too? Let's see, Autobahn. I could probably do that. That'd be kind of fun. Give it enough traffic. The only thing is, I think the game is going to render quite a bit of traffic going through here. But you know, that's fine though, because it'll blend quite nicely. Yeah, this will be pretty, not as hard as I thought to make. I don't know, maybe should I put like actual pillars under this too to replicate it, kind of like as a little homage? I guess we'll see. Have I put people to sleep yet? Let's see. Thanks, Sully. Yeah, I took a break from making maps, and then I kind of got the itch, and then I'm like, dang it, I was enjoying the game for once, but now I just want to create a map again. So yeah, these 2 peaks are what sold this location to me, and which is, I kind of feel weird because I know a few people have already done this particular location, but you can't look at those peaks and not want to do them, you know? What is it here? What are these mountains called anyways? Kleiner is Mythen the Swiss mountain way of saying things? Grosser mountain. Rother. Took German once. Or I guess it's a variation of German. Oh yeah. Okay, wait, let's see. Yeah, so my partner and I, we visited Black Dragon Canyon last June. Well, we didn't go to the canyon itself, but we visited Capitol Reef right off of I-70, and it was, I posted it to Reddit, but it was pretty freaking cool how uncanny it was compared to the 1-to-1. It blew my mind. It actually tripped me out to where I'm just like confused as to where I was, right? And now we're like, all right, are we going to have to visit Switzerland now too because you made a map of it? I'm like, hell yeah. I don't know if we'll get to Bayport though. There's not, I like Bayport, but there's not really a reason to be there. Okay. So. See how this looks. Sorry, I have to be careful which windows I open. We can't be risking things like that, you know? Okay. I mean, that's not so bad, you know? Although, I don't know. Here, I know it's a little bit hard for the stream to see, so. Not so bad, huh? Cool. All right, cool. So I know I haven't done anything in this stream, but it's kind of acting more as a kind of a survey stream and an introduction to this map. I don't know how many map making streams I can do. Sometimes you just want to zone out, you know? Should I make this castle? That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, that'll be a nice touch. Like, these little landmarks are always really nice to put into a map. I think people like that. Luzerne. I'll take a look at that in a second, too. So one other thing, and I don't know how people are going to feel about this. I plan on making this waterfront on the map that'll be available. I'm not going to put any buildings or anything, but I'm going to put these breakwaters, this marina, and all of that type of stuff in, because I think it's just a good like base reference for people to use when they're creating their maps. They can always delete it later. I noticed a lot of people kept the marina in Dunedin when they played on the map, which actually really made me happy. I'm curious. Tygon. Look at Luzerne real quick. Lucerne? Is this what you're talking about? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Teddy, putting those horizontal kind of like angled pillars under that bridge is going to be pretty cool. Wait, Teddy, are you from Switzerland? Or in that general area? I don't know. I never really thought about where you're from, man. But, oh, you're talking Sweden. My bad. Okay, yeah. See, like, I don't think I actually need a whole lot of mods when I release the map, too. So, I think there's a lot of things people can do without the mods. I actually thought about doing this area, too. Because this has more playable, and this is just down the lake, right? So I have the height map. I could probably just easily scoot it on over there for the next map. But I think, okay, so if we ever get a map that expands the playable area, or a mod, this is what I'll do. We'll make this area, we'll make this like the center of the map, because that's just gorgeous. And then you'll have all these other areas where you can create like a little ski resort, small towns, things like that. And then you have the metro area just over here. I think that would blow minds. And then if these peaks are still in the playable area, put your little snow surfaces over here, and ooh, some money. Very nice. So let's just classic American mind. Sweden is not Switzerland. I know, it's actually where I know what that sounds like, but how far are you guys? I mean, all right, technicality, I know where Sweden is, but technicality, you could say Sweden is, actually I don't know about that, actually a lot like Switzerland, but you guys are actually pretty like, I think Minnesota, northern America, but you guys have these Swiss-like areas, you know? You guys, especially in the northern part of the country, you've got the glacial lakes. So you could argue Sweden is Switzerland. They both start with SW. No, I'm just kidding, but oh, that's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked, but I do want to look at Sweden once. Aw, see, that's gorgeous. Okay, enough of that. Yeah, Teddy, I was wondering what people used as references for some of those map packs. So for yours, I haven't looked deeply into what you created on those, so I'll have to take a second look and be like, yeah. Yeah, the boreal type landscape, yeah, you don't really get the more temperate, because I know Switzerland I would say is considered a little more temperate or continental, and then you've got like the northern Arctic kind of thing. Okay. Oh. It's kind of hard switching between the two streams, but that's okay. I need to somehow consolidate the chat. Luzerne. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I couldn't find it, but all right. So one thing this map is also kind of cool. My camera's stuck. There we go. Is the height map is so tall in the game that you get these low clouds, and that's kind of a nice touch to me, because it's legit. Oh, okay. I know I keep getting sidetracked. The whole point of the episode, not episode, but was to kind of just start on the infrastructure, but I don't know. I really wanted to introduce this map a little bit. What is with the photo mode here? It's like really consolidated. Okay, whatever. So one thing I wanted to try was thickening up this thickening up the fog, right? Giving it kind of like a solid look to it, and then throwing in some clouds. And then putting it right at the top of the fog height. Oh, there we go. Okay. The only thing that kind of sucks is if you do it that way, you lose kind of the volumetric effect later in the map. But what I want to do is create these these like thicker clouds right on the edge of the denser fog layer, and that would be just gorgeous, you know? Okay, I digress. Swiss but flattened. And you guys are all giving me some great ideas for like future maps. So I think future maps I do eventually want to get to like handmade type stuff. So maybe I'll kind of use a mix of height map data. So the next part here is going to be this. Road. Oh, this is why it's condensed. Okay, I'm stupid. See, I've got tons of mods. Get this out of the way. Oh, not all the way. Okay. So make a parallel road, right? Let's turn on the contours. Something else I'm missing. Oh, yeah, I was gonna give it a little bit of elevation too. And straight slopes. Here we go. All right, so I kind of wish I could get these roads a little closer together, because yeah, it kind of messes with the scale So I think in real life, these roads are a lot more narrow. So I'm just kind of testing. Later on, I'm actually going to go deep dive into this. But for now, it's going to be as easy as this, you know? Maybe I'll flatten out this embankment, and that'll make it easier to give me the scale I want. I don't know. I make maps, not roads. Wonder if it, because we're still working on what is it? I know that the mod tools for roads still haven't quite totally caught up to City Skylines 1 levels. Okay, this part's gonna be like stupid difficult. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. But yeah, see, this was the issue I was having when I first tried this, was it didn't want to contour the right way. So maybe that's just something I'll have to do before I start painting the roads. Who knows? Because it's just kind of a massive pain to kind of... I'm a perfectionist, man. I don't have to fix these, in theory, but I want it to look smooth and curvy and as perfect as possible. All right, maybe not. All right, so what I can do here is just redo that. Yeah, Tygon, we definitely need just more road tools in general. One thing I'm still waiting for that I really would like is maybe some kind of, I don't know, just a retexturizer of the roads, you know? Okay. So what I'll have to do is just widen this a little bit. Maybe smooth it out. Doesn't have to be exact, you know? And then this here. Yeah, this will probably be the technique I use to kind of clean it up before I paint in the roads. I'm gonna widen it a little bit so there's less move it work that I have to do. Ooh, that was sloppy. But yeah, you can even see like the road on the contours. That's pretty fun. Yeah, this part, so we got the tunnel right there. So how does the game respond to that now? Because I'll probably keep it elevated, but still keep the terrain right where it should be. There's an easier way to do this, but... Oh, okay. Oh, there's an easier way to do that, but... So, Teddy, I've been kind of nothing against Europe. I've been kind of avoiding European maps. But now that I know you guys have all this LiDAR data that's just gone untapped, I'm just like, all right, guess that's what I'm doing now. It's a European map. I'm just a huge fan of doing maps that just don't have a whole lot of urbanization to them. Because it's easier to make a map look more authentic when I don't have to work around extra data, you know? Okay, that's not going to be the way I do that in the future. That's fine. But did that smooth it out quite nicely? Right by this levee. I didn't have this many issues with this last night, so I don't know why. Alright, what's interesting is the parallel tool doesn't parallel the nodes like you think it would. Kinda sucks. This guy's a little low. But the segments can be raised and lowered too, so it's kind of hard to really know what you're doing. Doesn't look too bad. Teddy, I'll answer that LiDAR question in a second. But yeah, I've got anarchy enabled. Is that why that would happen? I don't know. Just kind of seeing how this road's gonna look when I finally start doing the heavy work. For the most part, it seems like it does fine, but then you get into areas like this. You know what I should do? Instead of leaving the LiDAR data as is, maybe I'll just paint in that embankment completely so that the entire road is smooth. And like not like disable, like pause the game, right? And then kind of create the embankment like that, right? So that everything smoothly goes. And then after I painted in the road, I could probably just repaint in my river, right? And then this part will be near impossible. It's gonna be hard, but and then that'll solve my bumpy problem with the road, so I could save myself some time and effort. Alright, cool. That's an idea. So yeah, Teddy. Yeah, Teddy, I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, getting those level and smooth, because if you look at the actual like Swiss road, it is very smooth and curvy. So, what is Tygon saying? Place anything in map making with anarchy on, and it goes into the save map. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know about that because I've had people complain to me about trees that are still have anarchy enabled, which, I mean, that's fine. I don't know why people have a problem with it. Because, I don't know, people just don't want to manually delete things. It's fair, I guess. Where are my bookmarks? I'm going to try to find where I got this data and show it to you, Teddy. Cities, Skylines, resources. We've got the Swiss Alt I 3D. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Don't want to navigate from those pages. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I wasn't in incognito mode. Okay, one sec. I'm having some weird issues here. Control B. There you go. I just don't want people to see my bookmarks. I don't need to. Tygon, yeah, I wonder, wonder what maps are going to do when they get to consoles. If Anarchy is going to be an issue. Because they can still use Bulldozer to delete those things, though. I guess they're going to have to update the Bulldozer tool before consoles. Oh, that's right. I was changing the input to desktop. So, Teddy, if you're still here, this is the data I used. I didn't download the half meter resolution data. I didn't need that. Plus, I kind of feel like it's not a pure like digital elevation map. I feel like the half meter probably involves more than just the terrain, but I don't know. I could be wrong. This is really tight on my screen. Is the right input on? I hope people can see it. But I went to Schwyz Topo, and I wonder hope Twitch doesn't get mad at me for posting this. Oh, Teddy, are you on YouTube? I keep switching back and forth on Twitch to show you this. Okay, here you go. Okay, so this is where I got this data. What you should do, and I wonder, can you, if you ever do your own map, you should probably put your own, I guess you don't have to be precise, and that's what I could tell people to do. Because Shanks's tutorial tells you to input the coordinates exactly to what your buffer zone is, but if you want to adjust it, then you don't have that data. So I just, instead of doing precise coordinates, I do rough areas when I download the data. For this one, I just downloaded the entire country, because screw it. But if you want to save yourself some trouble, if your computer can't handle it, just download a rough area of the data that you want, and then that'll give you enough room to adjust whichever way. It took me a week to download this data because I had some issues where drives were disconnecting randomly and it would corrupt all the data. And it sucked because actually I don't know how much how big are these files? I don't remember where I saved the, oh, yeah, dude, never mind. So the Schwyz height map files, TIFFs. So I downloaded all of Switzerland, right? So these are all of the TIFFs that went into that height map. Not the one that I loaded in the game, but there's 44,000 TIFFs that I downloaded, so that I had the option to move the map if I wanted to. So it was, if you decide to do Switzerland, keep in mind that if you download the entire country at 2 meter resolution, it's 45 gigabytes, which now that I look at it, that's not so bad actually. But it depends on their server. I think it wasn't as fast as it could be, because I used, I don't know, see if I can pull it up. When you go through Shanks's tutorial, oh, that's bright. You also have to download another program that allows you to batch download things. So when you are on Schwyz's, the Switzerland, what do you call that? Repository. I don't know. New polygon. Let's just do entire data set. When you search the entire data set, it'll tell you to download a CSV file. And when you export this, you export the link, it'll save it as a an Excel document. You have to convert the Excel document to a .text file. And then that .text file, okay, there's nothing in there that's important. So let me just move this so you're not looking at all my files. Let's do this. So when you download that CSV file, you'll open it up and say like Excel if you have Excel, and then you have all these download links. So then you'll save this as it's a text file. When you save it as a text file, I think it's usually MS-DOS. Then now you have all of those links in a text file. Your next step is to open uget and then download. Can I delete these? I don't need to delete the files. You do download. Where's the batch? Ah, there you go. File, batch download, and then you could download it from a text, and then you'll just open. I'm not going to click OK because I don't need to download 45 gigabytes again. But this is where you'll go to download all of the TIFFs. You'll put all those download links into a text file, and then it'll batch download it for you. To which then, originally I was going to do StanSAD, but I moved it. To which then you do a whole bunch of different steps I'll go over at some point in the future to open it up in QGIS and then extract all of those height map file or data. So Sully, the guide, let's see if I can find that again. For Shanks. It was in the it's in the modding Discord as well. I just, oh, that's right. City Skylines. So I'm looking through all of my, I've got so many bookmarks these days. Height map tutorial. Let's hide my bookmarks again. For anybody else watching, this is where you go. I'll put it in Twitch too. This is where you go for Shanks' tutorial. And when I put some kind of tutorial together, I'm basically gonna reference that. Actually, I might have to talk to Shanks to see if he's cool with that too. But it's a really good tutorial. It's kind of being buried in time because not a whole lot of people make maps. Even the devs were telling some of the map makers like, hey, this is kind of a niche thing that people do, which is kind of wild because it's like the core. It's the base of the game, you know, everybody's playing on a map. So it's fascinating that not many people really want to take on that task of making much of a map. I mean, people do a lot of different like simple maps, but if you really want to go all out, that's what you got to do, is dive into the height maps and the different things. And Shanks's tutorial there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of information, but when you actually end up going through it, it's much easier than you think. What happened? I just had QGIS out. Let's pop that up quick. But there's a few steps that after you do it for a while, you could probably skip through, right? So I don't know. Let's do this, because honestly, I'm procrastinating on the road part of this map, so let's just restart this. Let's just go with removing all of these layers. Just make sure I don't save. So what you'll do is you'll start out with the OpenStreetMap. So actually, you know what? Let's discard that. You open the OpenStreetMap. Now you've got the base OSM layer. Dylan, thank you. Yeah, if you build on Bayport, watch out with the anarchy stuff. There are some performance issues, so just make sure you optimize your game for anti-aliasing and volumetrics. But some people, when they complain about the performance issues, don't exactly have their game optimized anyways, so watch out. But anyways, back to what I was saying here. So when I picked my map, I already looked through Google Maps and I'm like, I want to do Switzerland. So I zoom over to Switzerland. I pick, say, where's Schwyz? Schwyz. And this isn't a tutorial. This is kind of just a really quick introduction to what you do. I think the first step is a new layer, create layer, new geo package layer. Now what you do is you're going to want to create a center geo package, and it's just like I think what it is, it's like a reference file to kind of create, hey, this is the data that the map is going to reference. Geometry to point. And then these are the projection zones, so you don't have to change that. The base map, OpenStreetMap, is going to use this EPSG 4326 projection zone. And that's going to be like, think of it like your anchor, I think. Let's not save over that. Hold on. Test. So now you're going to have a center geo package file, and you start it there. The next step is now you need to create your point. So now you need to enable editing up in the upper left here. And then I think, am I clicking on the right thing? Is it the vertex tool? No, it's the point tool. The tutorial will tell you to put 001 as a reference, and the reason you do that is so later when you want to match your coordinates, you've got like a number to reference. Now you save that. Now you've got a point. You click on that layer again so that when you create a hang on. When you reproject that dot, it's going to reference that center geo. So your next thing is go to Vector, Data Management Tool, Reproject Layer. You're going to want to save it into another file. And this isn't a tutorial. This is just me telling you what you might have to do in the future if you want to do this. You're going to create another file. Save it. Oops, no, I don't want to save over that. And you're just creating all these different little files for the program to reference later as like data. I usually like to change the CRS, the projection zone, to what it's going to be. So like for this one, Switzerland uses LV95. And then I'll run that, right? So now I've got my reprojected layer. And then now this is going to be your center point of the map. Now you've got all your data files. We're not going to worry about those yet. Next, the next thing you have to do is go into Vector, what's it, Geoprocessing tool. Now you're going to create your buffers. This is where I like to reference the height map tutorial because Shanks has all those calculations done for you. Spice? Is it Spice? Am I saying this wrong? Spice. I don't know. I'm not. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. So now when you're creating your buffers, you pull open Shanks' tutorial. In here, he also goes into detail about how to download that data. But for now, we're just getting our location set up, right? So I'm not explaining this nearly as good as Shanks is. And when I create a tutorial, I'll refine this a little bit more. So now we're going to create these buffer vectors that are going to be our scale, right? So we've got our center reprojected. It's the right projection zone. Let's see, round. No, okay, it's not round. It's square, meter, distance. That's good. I skipped a step somewhere, but anyways, saved a file. Schwyz. You're probably going to save it to a file called center playable or buffer playable. You're going to run it, and then it's going to create a vector on your map. And then you'll go to the second part, which is the unplayable area. Just input that in there, change the file name to total or unplayable, whatever you want. Run it, close. Now you've got this giant box so that I can see what I'm doing. I'll change the symbology to, I don't know, red for the unplayable area. And I'm just double clicking these layers, and then green for the playable area. And now you have your game box. One thing I skipped when I was kind of just blazing through this is I changed the project CRS to the projection that Switzerland is using. So it's LV95. And you'll see what the difference it made. So before, when I had the original one on, the SPG, I think it's like 84 or something, the map is a little bit distorted. So let's go back to the original WGS 84. You see how everything's really distorted? When you set that projection to what it should be, which is what you're... Now it's correct and projected correctly. So now that you've got all these bounding boxes, you can go on to the next steps, which I won't go into too much detail. But you'll basically just create your rasters based on these vectors. And that's... If I go further than this, I'm just going to confuse everybody and get lost and then just get tired and just not want to talk about it anymore. But you'll, yeah. So if you follow the tutorial, that's how quick this can be once you kind of get it down, is kind of my point and why I kind of went through that. So I hope that helps. That was a little bit disjointed, but yeah. I think some other people have already done tutorials on based on Shanks's tutorial, but I don't think it really went into a whole lot of like step by step. So once I get the time, I promise you I will create a video like that, probably after I finish Switzerland. And then I'll kind of let everybody go nuts with it. Actually, here, one more thing. Did I save? Oh. Chrome doesn't want to be nice to me right now. Bookmarks. Sorry, I'm just loading up Oh, I don't think I saved it. Okay. Oh, okay. Arctic Dem. Ah. Yes, the Arctic Dem project. Okay. So some of the places you can go for this data, I think they've got a whole Explorer, Arctic Dem Explorer. Okay. This is one I don't think... I don't know how many people have dug into the Arctic Dem data set yet, but it was something I was kind of exploring. But I guess they have higher resolution LiDAR across the entirety of the Arctic. Somehow they're getting like half-meter resolution from satellites, which is pretty damn cool. So you have all this like digital elevation model of everything in the Arctic. The only reason I didn't, so I wanted to do, say, something on the Canadian, like, what is it? Damn, what is that area called? I should know this. Some of the Canadian areas, right? But this data isn't perfect, because I think when they're gathering this data, there's certain areas they can't see. But like this would be amazing to import into the game and edit and figure out a way to do. Actually, this area looks pretty well fleshed out. Did this get updated? Oh. So, if anybody wants the monumental task of importing a digital elevation model, these height maps, Arctic Dem is something to try out. And then figure out, I think it's high enough resolution. You don't really need the 2-meter resolution or the 1 meter like I've been using, because I like to use it for road networks. But I think even just like anything in that range should just be fine. I don't think you need it to be highly detailed. Ah, the Yukon. Thank you, Teddy. Gosh, I don't know why my brain couldn't like figure that out. I kind of got lost in the sauce there. Svalbard. Would it though? Okay, so there might be some other Swedish depositories or yeah, places you can get the Swedish data sets. But those are hard to navigate for anybody who doesn't know Swedish. Or, you know, anybody from outside the country. Sometimes it's a little hard to go into these foreign websites and figure out how to get those data sets downloaded. But it looks like, okay, I'm in Norway right now. It looks like Sweden has some pretty solid data. I'm gonna do one thing here. I don't think I'm gonna do much more to the map today, but I am curious. It's taking up all my GPU, that's why I'm closing out of it. Yeah, you could get Greenland in here just fine. I think the only struggle you might have is figuring out what gaps the data has. So for example, these coastal areas, I don't know what this big box is. It might be some kind of like... Well, actually, this data is pretty damn good right here. Where am I anyways? Okay, I need... I disabled the overlays, didn't I? How do I get those back? Okay, I am lost. Where am I? Oh, I'm in Canada. Okay. I thought I was... How did I get over here? I thought I was way over here in Sweden and Norway. There we go. Oh, sorry, Tygon. This is a website. This is Arctic Dem, and I think this is I think they've compiled all this data. I don't know the story behind it, but it's the University of Minnesota's website. So here you go. I think this is the high resolution data that they've been collecting. I don't know what resolution this data is at. This isn't the 8-meter data that you can download, say, on like those websites that allow you to create maps for city skylines, like height maps. I think this is the much higher resolution stuff. Let's see if I can... Okay, yeah, this is 2-meter resolution. So this is the same resolution that I used for it's the same resolution that I used for Switzerland. So this is more than enough space. So if you wanted to, you wanted to use Shanks's tutorial and pop over here and figure out how to download some of this data, you can. Oh damn, now I'm kind of jealous because some of these sea areas, I don't know. It's nice that I can actually see the rasterized height map data, not as a TIFF, because then I can actually inspect it and see like, all right, is it going to be janky or am I actually going to get like good quality data? Wow, okay. Let's see, how do you download it? Can I set an extent? Teddy, wait, is that where I'm at right now? I have no idea where I'm at. 15 degrees. Yeah, the only thing, because I have not used this website to download anything yet. So, oh, is this how you get to the catalog? So I don't know how you download this data. Let's look at the licensing first. Creative Commons Attribution International. I think people should be very careful when they do maps. If anybody ever decides to do commissions, look at the licensing guides for those maps, because you are using data that has copyright. In any case, okay. 2-meter dem. Yeah, I don't think this website gives you an option to create like an extent to download things. Time control. Whoa, okay, so this website also allows you to download historical data. That's kind of cool. Okay, so the map we were looking at was all of the data they've compiled over the last 13 years. Let's turn that off. How do I get back to... Okay, there we go. All right, if anybody's familiar with this, does anybody know how I download by extent? Export. Output spatial. Oh, jeez. I have no idea what I'm doing. Use this tool to identify or timeline tools. Current renderer. Ah, define extent. That's how you do it. Okay. So if you ever want to use this data, say you want to open it up in ArcGIS. Oh gosh, it is so much data it has to download. You just open it up, go to the area you roughly want to get your map going, export, define by extent. Oops. Okay, don't press that before you draw your polygon. There you go. There you go. Now you got your extent. Export. Now I have no idea if this data is the DEM without trees, or there's another phrase for if it has trees and other height data in it. Okay, let's get that window out of here. Is it going to give you a oh. Okay, disregard everything I just said, because this is the TIFF it gave me. I know there's data in here somewhere, but it's not going to be the high resolution 2-meter data you want when you export it this way. I don't know. If anybody wants that 2-meter data is there, you would just have to go about figuring out how to reference that to the website. Can I change the orientation? That'd be nice. I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to do one of these islands, right? Okay, not that. Those are a little... like, yeah, these inlets and everything. I believe I'm in the Faroe Islands now. Yeah, so somebody could do the Faroe Islands and it would be pretty awesome. Teddy, I think those LiDAR scans have the foundations. So like, which is, I don't know how they filter that out though. Maybe like a, yeah, I wonder how they filter out the trees and buildings from LiDAR data and just get like the digital elevation. It has to be like a density thing or something. I don't know. Because like if you go here, right? I'm pretty sure this is the city. These aren't buildings so much to say that maybe they are actually. Interesting. Yeah, because these are buildings, right? These are roads. They're just like lower resolution, I think is how that works. I don't know what's going on with this coastline here, though. What I'm trying to figure out is how to download these. Yeah, the trees should at least be removed. The buildings as well. At least like most of the data I've used. I made the mistake when I was making Lake Anoki of downloading the wrong digital elevation layer. And it gave me all of the trees. And at first I thought, all right, I could smooth these out. No, I couldn't. So I actually had to download the actual like raw digital elevation model. Again, I'm not an expert at this stuff, so. Okay, so I got to this catalog, which gave me what I kind of wanted. Can I go back? How did I get here? It's the Polar Geospatial Center. Oh, okay, here are the catalogs. But why is my extent restricted to the area I clicked on? Can I browse this? Yeah, these mosaics have so much data in them. Yeah, Teddy, the preview definitely, I haven't tried Arctic Dem, so maybe the preview is what it is. So maybe that is what it's going to look like, in which case I don't know if I'd want to use it. Other people could probably use it. But if this is the way it looks, I think this might just be, I don't know, actually. I have no clue. I don't know, that's still workable though. Yeah, those buildings are definitely in there in the... Maybe we could try see what it looks like in like an actual city. Sorry, this is a little hard to navigate. I'm not very familiar with Iceland, so I don't know what I'm looking at here. And the map is flipped upside down, so... What is this height map gonna look like? There we go. Let's see what those buildings turn up as. Yeah, Teddy, let me know how that ends up downloading. If you end up trying Shank's tutorial, I'm actually really curious to see what this height map looks like. Looks like there's like a gap in data. Nope. Okay, I'm wrong. Oh, keep in mind, Teddy, though, this preview is probably exaggerating the it's probably exaggerating the height map. So it's probably not this prominent. It's probably just giving you extra shading to show you, hey, this is how much is in this height map. But if you were to load it up in City Skylines, these buildings these foundations aren't really going to show up as prominently, especially with the resolution. Because this is all 2-meter data, so in theory it should be really... What happened? It should be really strong. I clicked on something I shouldn't have. I don't know what I clicked on. Whoa. Yeah, I got myself very disorientated here. Oh, that's why that disappeared. Okay. What is this? But yeah, you're right, Teddy. It's probably, the special reference is probably like the sea ice polar stereographic. So that's why the center of the map is... I mean, granted, it's just showing you the Arctic, right? So that's the whole point. These might be really cool areas if you want to give somebody a I don't know, just like a cool Arctic map, and then you could give them all these little like marshy looking water features, right? That'd be pretty cool. I don't know, just something unique. Oh, you know, it'd be kind of a fun idea. Create a glacier in City Skylines. Like a legit glacier. Granted, you'd need the EAI surfaces to help you with that, but a glacier would be pretty fucking cool. Excuse my French, but... Yeah, Teddy, I don't know what the preview is actually using, if I'm honest. Because I still haven't figured out how to download this data. Okay, let's see. Can I guess if you identify... Okay, so it gives you the source of the imagery. Oh. Alright, I guess I can't click on that. Guess I don't know. So Teddy, you know more about this mapping type stuff than I do, I think. Yeah, okay, so I wonder, hang on, is Hillshade... Yeah, you're right, it is Hillshade. But I think it's based on that data. Because it's just giving you a reference, right? So it's probably using the DEM in itself. Also, there's gaps in this data, I think. Like there should be coverage here, right? So download D. Earlier it routed me to a catalog. So like PGC. Oh. I am so lost right now. Arctic Dem strips. Is that what I want? Or do I want the mosaic? I'm clicking on things right. Oh, that's 10-meter resolution. Dang, I thought that was 2. Oh, there you go. 2-meter. Oh. There's got to be a way on this website to filter by extent. Max R. U of M. What do they have on here? Data and services. Arctic Dem. Man, I really wish I could have studied this in college. This would have been cool. Here's the LiDAR background. Oh, they have Arctic or Antarctic too? That's kind of cool. Arctic Dem. Jump right into the data. Fridge portal, Arctic Dem Explorer. Oh yeah, this is way beyond my pay grade here. But I like that it's publicly available. Yeah, Teddy, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but okay, I think like a DSM I think has all of like trees and all that type of stuff. And then I think they have, no, I might be wrong, but they should have the DEM, produce high resolution. I don't think they have an easy way of downloading it. So they have the Explorer here, which shows you the data they do have, but then you have to navigate to the catalog, which I don't think lets you set by extent. I think you have to know what you're looking for. I don't know what S/O means, but yeah, U of M, University of Minnesota. We are all back from my days under the lake, you know, in northern Minnesota. Back to my Swedish American roots, you know. Okay, sorry, I'm done. Well, anyways, my room is getting hot now because I have been taxing the hell out of my computer. So actually wait, before I start to cut away, what else do we have in here? I don't know, I'll explore it. Teddy, if you find a good way to download this data, let me know. I'm gonna keep it in mind for future projects because there's some cool things I could probably do with that stuff, and I want to see some people make some. There's just so much untouched land up there that you could turn into all sorts of different climate zones, and I don't know, just things that people haven't seen before, because I guarantee you no one's really thought of just some of the topography up there as being very cool, like city building land, you know? So oh yeah, shout out. I don't know the acronyms. So yeah, Alex, the U of M, go Gophers. It's kidding. I went to Mankato before moving to New Zealand for a while. So Go Mavs. Pixel size. Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Let me... Dang it. Where's the pixel size? Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like, though, is I know there's gaps in certain areas. Especially if it's like a very heavily topographic area. So let's go to Greenland. There's just so much water up there. That'd be a nightmare. Be fun, though. It'd look cool. Use identifier timeline tools to download raw DEM data. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can't use export. That makes sense. That makes sense. So identify. Is there no data here? No, there is. Yeah, Tygon, I think that's like pixel size as far as like the hillside data though. Like the hillside not projection, but you get my point. Because this is all just like reference, right? So I think what they mean is you click identify, you click on the position, and then you download the DEM. Which kind of sucks. Click OK. Where's the OK button? Oh, okay. I don't have a download prompt. I wonder if it's like too much for it to load. Because it says it's 2-meter resolution. That's kind of the thing. Yeah, Teddy, I think that extent though, you're not downloading the raw data. You're just downloading the hillside or hillshade. So I think what you actually have to do, and this is a lot of work, but I think there's a way to do it fairly simply, is you just have to go straight to the source. I think if you click on like image 1, or no, yeah, this API is really screwed. Yeah, Teddy, I think, yeah, you can get to the raw data. There is a catalog it directs you to. I think it's the Arctic DEM, but the problem, oh, what did I just do? But yeah, I think the problem is just like narrowing down the data you're trying to pick out. Don't know what this is. Oh, they're okay. That's like a credit. Okay, so I know somebody's figured this out. I just don't know who. So you use, when you're in the Explorer too, it'll preview the hillshade, but I think it's actually referencing the DEM they already have set up. I go with that part. Oh, okay. I think you have to click on the ES3 stack. Oh, and then it'll give you that whole like satellite run, it looks like. So then you can go to the assets that are in that, and then you get a GeoTIFF image. So you're going to end up downloading more data than you wanted to, but you can at least download the stacks. Tygon, is it just like a small box you're downloading? Like, I don't know what the extent of that is. Because 318 megabytes seems small. So it's probably just like a 10 square kilometer type area. Oh. Yeah, Teddy, that's what you do. You identify, so you don't click download. Oh, actually, maybe if it works for you. For me, it's not loading like the download. And what it's probably doing is downloading the stack. Unless... I haven't figured out how to set an extent. So, yeah, you just click on identify. It'll give you the stack that it's in, and then you can just download the whole stack. When you go into QGIS, you're going to end up rastering that whole like stack if you get the projection settings correctly. It gives you all this information on this page, it looks like. It's going to take a while. So what I like to do is after it's finished rasterizing, I'll just disable previews for that layer in QGIS, and I can still extract that raster without having to blow up my computer, if that makes sense. RGZ? Hold on. I don't know what you're looking at, Teddy. I'm able to download the actual DEM TIFF file as a stack. Yeah, but Tygod, when you try to mess... Am I wrong, though? Because when you define the extent, right, it's not going to give you the TIFFs. I think it's only going to give you the hillshade. So that's why it has a little disclaimer that says use identify or timeline tools to download raw DEM data. Ooh. 1 megabyte a second. That's brutal. Yeah, Teddy, if you know how to convert that data, power to you. But yeah, if you just identify, looks like there's gaps here. It'll give you that stack. And then it'll give you all that the stuff you might need. Yeah, because what you might be down... I wonder is... Oh! Oh, I see what you're saying, Tygon. Sorry. Footprint. No. Identify. Okay. I'm sending people in circles, and I apologize. So... Identify. Click to add. How are you drawing a shape? Wait. Yeah, it's not... I don't have the option to draw a shape, though. Identify, then... Yeah, it doesn't let me draw a shape, so I wonder... Yeah, it's just been easier to download the stack page stuff. Let's see how big the file is. Oh, that's the 10 meter. Okay, hold on. Can I like inspect this? Figure out how big that file is. Yeah, Teddy, the GeoTIFF should work just fine. I think I'm not going to do it here now because I'm running out of time, but there should be a way to If you get the projection right, it'll just put it in there. It's just, your computer just does not like that amount of rasterization. So you'll just have to like compile it and then just hide it. You won't be able to see the raster, but you really don't need to. You just need to extract it based on your extent. Okay, it's really bugging me that I can't figure out how to draw the extent here. So you said not export, identify, and then draw it, but... Huh. I don't know what you clicked first, but anywho. All right, folks. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not a mapper. I don't know how all that works. This would be a cool spot, though. All right, so I've got to get going for the day. I hope this has been very informative to you, and this has served as an excellent introduction into my next map. I can't wait to see what everyone else starts to put together. And after the Switzerland map, I plan on creating some kind of tutorial that's hopefully halfway coherent, so it's actually helpful. But for now, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'm RaftermanNZ. Cheers.